everybody makes a New Year's resolution that they never stick with, right? Everybody, I'm going to start drinking water. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to go to the gym. Well, that's why gyms are so successful in the month of January, but come February, nobody's in the gym, right? Because you give up on those resolutions. You have to be really good at making sure your messaging coming across isn't just you standing there with your hands out saying, buy this from me. People are looking for a way to go buy groceries. They're looking for a way to make their car payment. They're looking for a way to pay their mortgage. Very few people in the world relate to somebody that comes in and says, and I say this as having earned $7 million. They could never think, I could never be a millionaire. I could never have earned that much money. When in reality, anybody can do it. I've helped thousands and thousands of people be successful is I've just taught them how to authentically show up on social media, where we understand how many people are on social, how many people are selling something. How do you stop people from scrolling? Never let a failure stop you from doing anything. Everything is a test. If you're not willing to get on a phone call with me for 5 minutes, because I can honestly fill you in on what I'm doing in 5 minutes and tell you about it and answer questions. If you're not willing to get on a 5-minute phone call with me, you probably don't have a very good work ethic. You're probably not that interested in what I'm going to do. And more importantly, you're probably not that coachable, right? I don't want to take away time from my family to try to work with somebody who's not coachable and isn't going to do the things that need to be done in order to be successful in this industry.
Hey network marketers, if you want to know what sets the top leaders apart in this business, you've come to the right spot. We are a sales and marketing agency working with the best in the business. And in our podcast, we are diving deep into their secrets. From mindset to recruitment to onboarding like pros, we're here to show you how they do it. Plus, we've got actionable steps you can use to rise to the top, no matter where you are in your journey. Get ready to level up and dominate. Welcome to the MLM Duplication Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the MLM podcast. My name is Tika, and today we are joined by Ursula Myers. She is an entrepreneur at heart. She's a former boutique owner of 15 years who was looking for a residual income stream when she discovered network marketing. In 9 years, she has made over $7 million by leveraging the power of social media and social selling. She has helped thousands of women create an income stream that allows them to become stay-at-home moms and retire from their 9-to-5. Ursula, welcome to our podcast. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for asking me to be here today. It's really an honor to come in and spend some time with y'all and just talk about such an amazing industry for sure.
Yes, it's definitely an amazing industry. And how did you get started in it? Like, who was the person that recruited you? Were you on some event? How was it for you?
So I actually was a boutique owner for 15 years. I was very successful in that field. I was a clothing designer, an accessory designer. Not only did we have a boutique, but we also had a wholesale company or wholesale companies as well, where we actually sold to multiple stores across the US and Canada. So loved that industry, still to this day, love that industry. But my life kind of took a funny turn. I was a new mom again at 42. And so my kids are really spaced out. They are 33, 30. He just turned 30 and 10. And so what I was looking for was a way to actually replace that boutique income that would allow me to be able to stay home with my new baby. I had taken her to the store with me for probably about 9 months. And so if you can imagine having a newborn, having a baby there, trying to ship out orders, trying to work with stores, trying to make sure that the customers were taken care of and take care of the baby all at the same time. It was pretty crazy. And so when I started looking for a way to really replace that income, that's when I stumbled upon network marketing. I realized how much money you could make in this industry and decided this is what I wanted to do. And so I came home and told my husband that I had discovered this industry and that I thought it could be something that would replace that boutique income. And so we had this big heart-to-heart conversation, and y'all are gonna laugh when I say this. We decided that I would try it for 6 months. 6 months. If I could do something in 6 months, we would really take it serious. which now I look back on that and I think, who in the world would ever think that you could create something big in 6 months, right? But you don't know what you don't know. And so what I did was I ended up coming in, growing very, very quickly. This was in my previous company. We ended up creating the fastest growing team in company history. I could see very, very quickly that this was going to be something big. Within our first 2 to 3 months, we ended up selling our companies that we had, the boutique, the wholesale companies, all of that, because I could see that if I focused here in this industry, I could really do something big. And so we broke every record in that company. It was incredibly crazy, but incredibly good. And so what I realized was that network marketing, MLM, is the most level playing field, right? It doesn't matter what your last name is. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what background you come from. The only thing that matters is one thing and one thing only, and that's going to be your work ethic. Like I love to work hard. That's something that was instilled to all of us, my brothers and sisters and I, by our parents, is if you are willing to work hard for anything, you can become anything you want to in life. And so I really took that to heart. I used that work ethic and that mentality to be successful in the boutique world. I've used it in the network marketing world, and it has led us to here we are 9 years later, and we've made over $7 million on social media alone. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to utilize social media and create something really big, a really big movement to where people could come in and not have to go. Listen, meetings are great, and I understand that a lot of people do meetings and all of that. That just wasn't my deal, and that wasn't what I wanted to do, especially with a new baby. I wanted to reach people where they are, and everybody's on their phone, right? So why wouldn't we really create this big movement to where we were reaching people to where they are, which is on their phone, and creating this big business, which is what we did.
So, Ursula, I have a question now. You mentioned that you were a boutique owner and then you went into network marketing. But I'm curious, how did you come to that conclusion that network marketing is better? Is it because the regular business was hard to maintain because you had so many costs, maybe employees? What was the main reason where you're like, oh yeah, what convinced you? That's my question.
So it was the residual income. To me, that's what I discovered is when you understand the power of residual income and the fact that let's compare network marketing to, let's say, Amazon, right? So when you go to Amazon, or not Amazon, let me rephrase that. Let's compare it to the boutique world. So there's so many choices in boutiques, right? There's so many choices of where you could go shop. And even though we were very successful in that industry, it was the fact of like, you were not guaranteed, not that you're guaranteed the repeat customer here, but you have more of a likelihood of having a customer that continues to buy repeatedly for months and years on end, right? So that's that residual income that's going to continue to come in, to where you're hoping in other industries, you're just hoping that that customer continues to come back. Well, here in the industry that I'm in, or the products that I promote and talk about, we have such incredible products that actually customers stay on for an average of 9.7 years, almost a 10-year retention rate. So you're not just getting that commissions from a one-time buy, you're actually getting commissions from a repeated customer who's coming back for almost 10 years, which in this industry is really unheard of. Our retention rate is incredibly high. And so for me, that was the key where I saw you could really create a big difference, because you know, coming in month one, you're signing up people and you're getting that first time commission. But month two, now you're getting the returning customer commission, but you're also getting the commission from the new people you're bringing on for month two as well. Well, then month three, you're getting commissions for the people that are returning from month one, month two, and then also the new people you're bringing in for month three. And when I realized that business model is like so incredibly smart, and the fact that you have these people that are coming back and buying month after month, year after year. And so you're building on that base of customers for years to come. That's really what allowed us to grow so quickly. It's allowed us to be so incredibly successful. It's what has really helped me share the opportunity with people, because a lot of people don't understand the just how powerful residual passive income can be. They hear the words, right? They're words you see floating around on social media or whatever. But unless you really understand the power of residual income, you will never want to go back to anything else, because you're just using the leverage of customers that love your product, stay on product, continue to buy product, and then you just continue to bring in more people, so that base of business just continues to grow. So once I figured that out, and how to really capture a really good customer base, and the fact that you could make a lot of money using network marketing as the model because of the residual passive income, it was a no-brainer for me.
Do you also think that business owners, for them, it's easier to understand residual income, just because we are business owners, Nana and I, and we know how hard it is, to get this, and it's kind of like, if you build that residual income, it's a game changer, because here in your regular business, you have to create a product basically and work on it, pay a lot, and usually in businesses you have around 30% margin, around that, and here you can have similar percentage but without the struggle to build the product itself.
I agree. That's the thing. I don't want to ship the product. I don't want to be in charge of customer service. I don't want to have any of those issues with the logistics of it. What I want to do is I want to be able to provide a service or a product. I want the company to make sure that they're fulfilling their end on the back end. They're shipping the products to the customer. They are paying me commissions, right? They are providing the customer service. So really what I am is, I feel like that's the perfect title, is you're a networker. You are sharing with your circle, right, a product or service that you love and use, and you're getting paid to do that.
So let me ask you, how was it for you in the beginning? So you had a business, now you decide to switch. Was this like this switch, or it took a time for you to develop this? Because I believe that as a business owner, you had a lot of women especially that you knew, and it helped you build this faster, right?
Oh, 100%, because I had been in that boutique industry for so long. I had already built up a following. I had already built up the trust with the people that were buying from me for our boutique, right? So I already had all of that. And so what I did was I just transitioned that into this new company and this new business of what I was doing. And honestly, that's what helped me be so successful right from the jump, right from the start, and move forward with this. But I do want to say, that being said, I don't feel like you have to have a following on social media, right? That's one of the things they think, that people think I have to have a huge following. I don't have enough influence. I don't have all of these things. And in all honesty, if you are coachable and you align yourself with the right mentor, they can show you how to create that influence on social media, how to create the followers, how to create the engagement, which is really what I do with the people that I coach. So it just so happened that I already had all of those things because of the industry that I was in before. But anybody can come in and be a network marketer and be successful. So.
You were looking at that time for a residual income. Was there any other alternative compared to network marketing that you were looking into, or was when you saw that and the business model you were bought and you were like, okay, this is for me?
No, honestly, I wasn't looking at anything else. This kind of just happened to fall into my lap, and I took a real serious look at it. But let me tell you, I took a serious look at it after watching for 8 months. I saw some people that I knew that were doing some things, on social media, and they were talking about this money they were making. And I was like, to be real honest, I was like, I'm not going to be that girl. Like, I do not want to be that person. I felt like, because I was a boutique owner and I had created this circle of influence in that world, like I couldn't, and I say this in quotation marks, downgrade myself to be a network marketer, right? But when I really looked at the income opportunity and how much money you could make in network marketing, I realized I was seriously just being a fool and not informed, right? The most expensive thing that a person can have is an uninformed mind, right? And so once I really found out how much money you could make here if you were willing to do the work, that's when I decided, after watching for about 8 months, I decided, okay, I'm going to join, I'm going to start, and I'm going to see where it takes me. Then that's where my husband and I had that 6 month conversation that I laugh at now. We realized very quickly how much we could make here. And so I put my head down and I went to work, and I went to talking to as many people as I knew. And so by doing that, I just grew quickly.
Was your strategy in the beginning, in those 6 months, to go after moms, like, or was it, or like people doing regular job, or was it more for like, I will look for a business people who are having some type of business and to switch them to this because it's just better, and that because that was your story? What was your approach to that?
I talked to anybody and everybody. That was my story. Like, it obviously I contacted my ride or die people, my top 10 friends first off, and said, listen, I'm going to do this. I want you to do it with me. Whether you come in for the, what the products are going to help you with, or whether you come in and want to make money with me, that's what I did first, right? So you got to start off small with those people that you know that if you call them and say, hey, I want you to do this with me, they're going to jump in and say, okay, what are we doing, right? And my friends knew me to be that kind of person that I did kind of crazy stuff all the time. So this was nothing new for them. They were just like, okay, Ursula, what are we doing now? Right. And so all of them came in with me, all of those 10 people. And then what I did was I decided if I was going to do this, I was going to boldly use my social media and talk about these products that I was taking. I was going to talk about the opportunity that we were creating income streams for people. And so it wasn't the fact of I was so methodical in, because I'm a business owner, I'm going to go talk to business owners. It really wasn't that at all. It was more of the fact of I talked to anybody and everybody. And probably back in the day, because that was nine years ago, that was the Wild West, right? To me, that's what I consider it, was the Wild West. You just posted about all the things. You talked about it incessantly. It was all you talked about. And now I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cringe. And you were like spammy Tammy just all over the place. But really what it did was it honestly put me in front of people in a different way. They were so used to me being all about, look at this beautiful dress that we have that just came in. Look at these amazing boots that we just had show up. Look at this jewelry that you need with the dress and the boots and all of the stuff, right? That's how they knew me as. And I really feel like it really worked to my benefit that I was sharing something different. I already had that influence over a lot of people, or I had built up enough people that trusted me, like I said, because of the previous 15 years, that it was an easy transition into this. But saying that, I do want to follow up and say that you don't have to have that influence to start, right? So I don't want somebody that's watching this to think, well, I couldn't be her. I couldn't do what she did because she had XYZ. And I don't feel like that's it at all. Listen, it is November. We know we're going into the holidays. So what's happening into the holidays? You've got two things happening right now. You've got people who are stressing about how they're going to pay for Christmas. You've got people stressing about how, they're going to get their kids Christmas gifts or holiday meals and all of that stuff, to where that's an opportunity right there that you should be talking about how they could be making money with you, right? So that's one thing. The second thing that people are doing right now is they are looking forward to Thanksgiving. They're looking forward to all the food. They're looking forward to all the holiday things, right? They're looking forward to Christmas meals and all of these things. But what happens January 1st? Everybody makes a New Year's resolution that they never stick with, right? Everybody, I'm going to start drinking water. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to go to the gym. Well, that's why gyms are so successful in the month of January, but come February, nobody's in the gym, right? Because you give up on those resolutions. Nobody has any follow through. And so you have an opportunity there to be talking about, hey, if you're in using products like I use that honestly help you feel better, help you see results in not only how you feel, but how your mood, your sleep, your energy, your weight loss, like all of these things. This is a perfect opportunity because come January 1, everybody's going to be on the bandwagon of this is my year to get fit. This is my year to lose weight. This is my year to get healthy. This is my year to whatever, right? So this is like the perfect time right now because you can be talking opportunity to the mom that's stressed out about how she's going to pay for Christmas. You can also be talking to the mom who's stressed out because Christmas is coming and she knows the weight's going to be packed on and she knows she's going to have no energy. She knows she's going to feel like crud, right? And so I feel like this is such perfect timing because there's so many ways that you could be promoting what you have, whether it's opportunity or whether it's product wise.
When you compare, because you started 9 years ago, social media is very different now than it was 9 years ago. What would you say is the difference when you started like 9 years ago and basically posting about anything? How many leads you got from that time? And when you compare it to now, when the market, it seems to be like everyone is on social media, everyone is talking, it's much harder to stand out today.
That's such a great question because you're exactly right. Everybody's selling something on social media, right? Everybody's selling something, or that's what it feels like anyway. And so the only way to stand out on social these days is to be authentically you. It's to be the real you. Now, when I say authentically you, I want to say you definitely don't want to be sharing things on social media that are negative. You don't want to be sharing things on social media that are drama. You don't want to be, it's like those posts you see on Facebook where somebody's cussing out their baby daddy, right, for not paying child support. You're going to go read all those comments. You're going to go read all that drama, but you wouldn't do business with that person, right? So you still have to be authentic to yourself and who you are. Don't worry about showing up perfectly. If you follow me on social media, which after this podcast, I hope you do, but if you follow me on social media, you can see like I am authentically me. I am a hot mess that just has a work ethic that was instilled from the time that I was a very young girl who shares every single part of my life, all the things that we do, all the shenanigans in our family. And I think that's it. I think you have to be really good at making sure your messaging coming across isn't just you standing there with your hands out saying, buy this from me. It is you saying, look at how this product, service, or opportunity has actually enhanced my life, how it's actually served my family, how it's actually changed our life, right? And so I think when you speak authentically about what it's done for you, people relate to that a lot better and a lot more than if you're just standing there with your hand out saying, please buy my product, right? And so you have to make sure, this is an old school term. When I say this, I'm sure network marketers that have done this for a long time, they're going to be like, I knew she was going to say that. You have to be a product of the product, right? So what do I mean by that? If you're selling, for example, a weight loss product, you have to show that the weight loss product worked, right? You have to show these are my own personal results of this product and my own personal testimony, correct? If you're showing skincare, or if you're selling skincare, you have to show your skincare results, right? You have to show this is what this product has done for me. If you're talking opportunity, you have to share this is what this opportunity has done for me. But don't think that you have to have millions in the bank to be able to share opportunity. That's not true right now. What people are looking for in today's world, they're looking for a way to go buy groceries. They're looking for a way to make their car payment. They're looking for a way to pay their mortgage, right? Very few people in the world relate to somebody that comes in and says, and I say this as having earned $7 million, right? Very few people can relate to that. Does that make sense? They could never think, I could never be a millionaire. I could never have earned that much money. Because unfortunately, that's something that is ingrained in most people is I could never do that. When in reality, anybody can do it. Anyone can be great. Anyone can come into this industry and just create the dream life they've always wanted, as long as they are willing to work for it. And so to me, it's all about making sure that whatever you're talking about, whatever product, whatever service you're talking about, that you are authentically showing what it has done for you, being a product of the product, and saying, look, this is me before I started taking this product or before I started this opportunity, and this is me now. This is what it has done. And I feel like that's why I've been so successful, and I've helped thousands and thousands of people be successful, is I've just taught them how to authentically show up on social media, to where we understand how many people are on social, how many people are selling something. How do you stop people from scrolling? That's the thing. That is the key thing. Once you figure that out, once you figure out how to stop people from scrolling and actually stop and watch your live, actually stop and watch your reel, actually stop and read your post, right? That's the secret sauce. And that's really what I teach is how to do that.
What mistakes have you done in the past when you first started? Do you recall some in network marketing in general?
Spammy Tammy. That was me. if you were to go look at my social media 9 years ago when I started this, it was all like every day, multiple posts a day. And so I don't know that that was a mistake, but in today's world, if you were comparing that to now, you would definitely not want to be that person, right? You don't want to be an infomercial. But I feel like that would have been something that I did back in the day. Mistake wise, I mean, that's a really good question. You're making me think here for a minute. I'm not going to say that I haven't made any mistakes, because obviously everybody does. I came in with the mentality, honestly, with the mentality of, if this girl's making that much money, I'm fixing to blow it out of the water. I'm fixing to go make a whole lot of money doing this. That was my thinking. And I think, to my point, it was the fact of just having enough self-confidence to understand that this is such an open playing field. Like, all you got to come in and do is work. Period. End of story. Like, that's all you have to do is come in and work and have a no quit attitude. And so maybe that's why I'm having a hard time thinking of what mistakes I made, because I think mistakes everybody has failures, right? Everybody's done things that they wish they maybe wouldn't have done. But those are all building blocks and learning things that you use on your way to success, right? Never let a failure stop you from doing anything. That's just the way that I feel. Anything that I feel I failed at, I took the lesson, I learned the lesson, and I did better moving forward. And I think that's why I love this industry so much, because it's just the endless opportunity to not only change your life, but also change the lives of millions of other people, whether they're customers or whether they come under you to work directly with you. Like, you have the opportunity to not only change your life, but the lives of so many people.
What were some early on tactics that you saw really propelled the business and the success that you had?
So early on, it was all about, for me, it was two things. It was talking to as many people as I could. It was talking to as many people as I could, and teaching the people who were coming in with me to do the same thing, to just be relentless in that action, right? To get up and have that urgency every day, to show up and do the work, and to consistently show up. I feel like that was the biggest thing. The second thing that we used to do back in the day that worked really, really well was when people asked us for information. And it's so funny to think about now that we just were so hardcore about this. When people asked us for information, I wouldn't give it to them unless they got on a phone call with me. I didn't. That's how our whole team operated, was you had to get on a phone call with us. And so I don't know if you remember, if you've ever seen, they have these like these things that go around your neck that connect to your phone like Bluetooth, and they have those retractable earpieces. Do you guys remember those? Yeah. We wore those not like necklaces. Like, you were not going anywhere without that dang thing, because you were on constant calls. But what it did was, I feel like people were able to get on a phone call with me, and I still use this tactic to this day, not as much as, if you don't get on, I won't talk to you kind of thing. But I would much rather get on a phone call with somebody to this day and let them hear my passion for whatever it is we're talking about, whether it is product, whether it is opportunity. Let them hear my story in person, right? That's so much more relatable to me when you can actually hear someone's voice and why they're doing what they're doing than it is to just send a direct message to somebody, right, that they may or may not read. How many times do we see people that are sent a video and they're not going to watch a video? Like, people are just, it is a society right now where you want instant gratification. I'm not going to take 5 minutes to watch a video. I'm sorry. That's the way people think, right? So if I can get people on a phone call to this day, I have a really good closing rate because I'm very passionate about this industry. I know what it's done for me. And when I can share that with somebody on a phone call, I feel like that really is a game changer.
Your tactic was you were probably sending them text messages or DM, or were you calling them directly? And or was the goal just to get them on the call, and that was it?
So what we did was we had so many people that were interested right away that we said, hey, let's get on a phone call and I'll tell you all about it, right? That was it. And if they didn't get on a phone call, they just didn't get the information. That's how I did it back in the day. So let's talk about how I do it now. How was back then compared to how I do it now, right? So if somebody comes to me wanting to talk about product, I'm really not going to get them on a phone call because I feel like I can do that really well through some messages back and forth through Messenger or DMs or whatever. If somebody really is interested about the business, everything is a test to me, right? Everything is a test. If you're not willing to get on a phone call with me for 5 minutes, because I can honestly fill you in on what I'm doing in 5 minutes and tell you about it and answer questions. If you're not willing to get on a 5-minute phone call with me, you probably don't have a very good work ethic. You're probably not that interested in what I'm going to do. And more importantly, you're probably not that coachable, right? You are looking for coachable people who can pass the test that you're going to put in front of them. To me, that's the number one test, is the phone call. And so if I'm looking for business-minded people who would like me to mentor them after the success that I've had in this industry, these are people that I'm going to be working with one-on-one, right? People that I'm going to take time out of my day to mentor, to coach, to teach. You're going to have to pass a test. And that test is, the first test is going to be the phone call, right? Because then that lets me see their level of commitment. Time is the one thing that none of us can buy, no matter how much money we have. None of us can buy more time, right? Time is very sacred to me. Because if I'm not working on my business, then I'm spending time with my family. So I don't want to take away time from my family to try to work with somebody who's not coachable and isn't going to do the things that need to be done in order to be successful in this industry. And so I really guard my time very well, because I know that I would rather spend time with somebody who is really willing and wanting to do the things than I would be somebody who's not even willing to do anything, much less get on a phone call. And so when you start looking at your time that way, and this to me, even starting out, somebody that's just starting out in network marketing, right? You're willing to talk to anybody that has a pulse. You're willing to DM anybody who is breathing, who is alive, right? Who is showing interest. So as you grow, you'll understand the importance of guarding your time, because your time becomes more limited, right? Your time becomes more limited in how much time can I actually go help or use it to serve the people that I'm working with. And so to me, that would be the biggest thing, is spend your time wisely. When you're starting out, make sure you're doing the things that are going to make you money, right? Make sure you are not doing busy work, because busy work makes no money. Make sure you're doing productive work, the things that do make you money. And so that's something that whoever you're signed up with can actually help you narrow down. What are those IPAs, those income producing activities that you should be doing every single day in order to move the needle in your business? And then for me, it was all the fact of, once I figured that out very quickly in the beginning for myself, I started implementing that with the team that we were building. We were relentless. I mean, relentless in the actions that we did. And so really that's what drove drove the momentum and moved that needle was just that relentless action.
What I'm curious the most from hearing the story is that phone call. Like, what is the approach? You're mentioning that you have a high closing rate from the 5-minute phone call, and that you learn a lot of things from about the person on that call. So, can you walk us through the structure maybe of that call?
Yeah. So most people, right? Most people that are going to be contacting you probably have either never been in this industry before, or maybe they have been, but they haven't been successful. So they're kind of looking for something else, right? Because there's a difference between talking to those two groups of people and then talking to somebody who is established, has a team underneath them, and is looking to make a move, right? Those are different conversations. But let's talk about somebody that's never been in the industry before, who doesn't even understand network marketing. So that simple phone call to me just really starts out with explaining what affiliate marketing is, what network marketing is, and how it works, and comparing it to things that they would be seeing on social media right now. Because I think that's the first thing, is they have to understand what it is first, right? So I explain what it is in comparison to having an Amazon affiliate link, right? Or having a TikTok shop affiliate link, because those are normal things in our world right now. Everybody shops on Amazon, right? If you're on TikTok, every other video is a TikTok shop video, buy my product, right? And so when you compare it to those, which is very much the same thing, those people are sharing a product and service. The difference between those two types of links, if you will, and the ones that I use is, number one, I make more money, and number two, we have residual passive income. When you teach people about the residual passive, which is generating an income for years to come, instead of just getting the commissions off of a one-time sell, which is exactly what Amazon is, right? Having an Amazon affiliate link. And it's the same thing with TikTok shop. It's you get commission for a one-time sell, and basically you're making pennies, if we're just being really, really honest, right? And so when they understand the difference in those, because those are normal to them, they see people sharing that stuff all the time. When you compare it to what you're doing in network marketing as opposed to those, that's when it really opens up their mind, I feel like, for them to be open to the conversation that you're going to bring. And from there, I really just share my story. I share how much I've made. I share what I bring to the table as a mentor. I share the fact that I am very hands-on. I'm one-on-one. My job actually is to close sales for them as I'm teaching them what to do. So I'm putting money in their pocket quickly as I am showing them the ropes and showing them how to do this. So I think that's why my calls go so well, is the fact to have a mentor who has such proven success really in your back pocket, who's giving you the roadmap of what to do, where to go. Really all you're doing is getting in the car, because your mentor's driving you, right? You're getting in the car, you're saying, I want what you have. I want to be successful. I want to build a business with you. So then it's up to them to be coachable and to follow your lead. And so really that's what that phone call is basically setting the stage of what working with me would look like, what I bring to the table, and what I can offer them if they were to link arms with me, and how I would help them build their own online business and be successful as well.
Are there some questions that you ask them just to assess them and, where they are in your life, or how open-minded they are, things like that?
There is. So I always ask, how much money would you want to be making in the next 6 months? How much money would you want to be making in the next 12 months? What does that look like in 5 years? Because by doing that, you also have to set the expectation, because if somebody comes in and says, I want to be making $10,000 a month within the next 6 months, that work ethic is a whole lot different than somebody that tells me they want to be making $500, right? At the end of 6 months, a month, by the end of 6 months. And so to me, when that's a great question that I ask, or I feel it's a great question that I ask, because it's going to let you see where their mind is, what their goals are, right? And a lot of times you want to just make sure that you are providing the right insight. Okay, if you're telling me that in 6 months you want to be making $10,000 a month, well, I want to realistically tell you, this is what your workday is going to look like. right? This is what it's going to take to get to that kind of income. And so, to me, that's the thing is setting the realistic expectation for them so they understand what they're getting into, but then also you having that knowledge of what they want to do is going to help you coach them, lead them to where they say they want to be, right? And so it's a twofold deal. So that's a big question that I ask. Obviously, I ask what industry they are in currently or what they do for a living right now, that kind of thing. I want people who are driven, to be real honest. I want people who are self-motivated. I want people who are going to show up without somebody knocking on their door in the morning saying, hey, are you up? Are you ready to go to work? Kind of thing. I love the people who come to me because that's just the way I am. Who are like, hey, what do I do today? Like, good morning. What's my step? How do we move forward today? What do you want me to do today? Right. So I feel like those people who are self-motivated and self-driven, those are really the people that you want to spend your time with. We talked about time earlier, but those are the people you want to spend your time with the most, because those people are the ones that really get it. Instead of the people, to me, honestly, pet peeve of mine is if you sign up with me, and it happens. I mean, I'm not going to lie, because it does happen. It happens to everybody in this industry, right? But the people who come in and say, I need this, like, I've got to make this work. I want to make some money with you. Like, you know, my family's on the line, whatever it is. But then don't do anything, right? They don't respond to your texts. They don't respond to your phone calls. They don't do any of those things. They're not coachable. One of my biggest pet peeves is uncoachable people, right? Because to me, it's a waste of money. You just spent $200, $500, whatever it was that you signed up with, you just wasted it because you're not even willing to show up to do the work that it's going to take in order to be successful. And it all comes down to one thing, which is self-accountability. And honestly, I feel like that's one of the things that people are not willing to be, is self-accountable. It's really hard to look in the mirror and say, why am I here? Right? What has got me to this position? What could I have done differently in order to see a different result? And so that's one thing. I am, maybe to a fault, very self-critical. I am very self-accountable to myself because I want to know, what am I doing wrong and what am I doing right? And so I love it when people come in and they're just like, Ursula, listen, I see what you've done. I see how much money you've made. I've seen the thousands and thousands of people that you have helped make money. I want to be one of them. I will be a sponge. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. Because that's how I was in the beginning. I came in right to an industry that I had no knowledge about whatsoever. I had been very successful in the boutique world. But what I did was I came in and said, I can sell anything to anybody, because that's just, for some odd reason, the gift God gave me, right? Is the gift of sales. I can sell anything to anybody, but I don't know how to sell this. So what I did was, even coming in with that base of sales knowledge, if you will, I came in and said, listen, let me get on a couple of phone calls with you guys. I did that for about 5 or 6 phone calls. And then what I did was, I really felt this was the key to my success, was I then went and started doing my own calls by myself, even though I was brand new. On those first calls that I did, I actually wrote notes, right? I wrote notes. I did all of that. And once I went through about 5 or 6 calls and I started doing them on my own, I'm telling you, I sucked. I was horrible. I hemmed, I hawed, I don't know, like all the things. And it was so painful. But I got better with every single phone call. That was the key. I got better with every single phone call. And then what I did was I created what I call these call steps that I then shared with the team that I was building. And I just lined it out. Step 1, this is what I said. Step 2, this is what I said. So then they took my steps, they used basically my wording. They input their story to where it was the part for them to put their story, right? Mm-hmm. And we went to work. So don't think you have to know everything to be successful. because you don't. I did not know anything about this industry whatsoever at all. And that's why I came in and said, I know how to sell, but I don't know how to sell this. So what I did was I came in with a very open mind, a very coachable spirit, and I was a sponge for about 2 days. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna do it on my own. And I sucked at it for a while
What's your take on it? I have a question about that. You said that you did these meetings alone, even though you were very new in the industry and stuff like that. And I'm very curious because, in general, when you hear network marketing leaders, what they do when they recruit someone is like they basically say like, hey, bring me someone on a freeway meeting and I will be the one presenting.
Yep.
And I also have my take on it. For me, it's, I think I get that why they are doing it, but I think for the person it's better if they do it. They kind of like suck, as you said, like basically they will make many mistakes, but once they figure out, they will feel such a big confidence and they will like go much faster. What's your take on it?
I agree 100%. What you want to build is you want to build people that are, you want to be a cheerleader. Like that is your goal as a network marketing leader. You want to be a cheerleader. You want to cheer everybody on. That is your job. You want to cheer everybody on. You want to make sure that you are there for the support that they need. You want to make sure that they have what they need in order to be successful. But when you bring new people in, what you want to do is you want to create them to be self-reliant, right? And if I do that, what you said, to begin with, I definitely am in the chats. They introduced me. This is my friend Ursula. She's the one that got me started. Since I'm new, she's going to explain it because that's how I teach them to begin with, right? But my end goal is how quickly can I get these people to be the people that trusted me, that sign up with me, right? That want me to mentor them. How quickly can I get them to be self-reliant to where they're able to go in and duplicate everything that I just taught them and do it quickly. The duplication model is the secret to your success, right? How many people can you get some wins in their pocket to then can go in and create wins for other people? When you create an army of people who are winning, right, and winning quickly, that's when all the great stuff starts happening. That's when you start building momentum. So the key to it is actually building as many people as you can quickly, giving them the skills, giving them the tools, giving them the knowledge that they can then go recreate what you taught them without you to their people, teach them who go recreate it. It is a complete process. You teach, they learn, they teach. It is a complete process of teaching and learning. And so that is our job as network marketing leaders is you are a teacher, right? It is your job to go teach how to do this. And I feel like when people, you see leaders who are like, well, I want you to get me on a phone call with people. I've been here for a year. You still need to get me on a phone call. You're doing yourself such a disservice, right? Because you're not allowing your own people to go find their way. And I'm a control freak. Like, listen, I will be the first person to say I'm a control freak and I can understand why they think that way. There's more than one way to grow in network marketing. It doesn't have to just be my way. I want to give them the basic foundation, the basic knowledge, the basic tools and skills that they need. And then they can go put their own flavor on it. And that's why I feel like I've been so successful because I did that really quickly. I came in and said, okay, thanks for the help. I got it. I'm going to go do it on my own. I'm going to go figure out my own way. I was willing to suck, which is most people are not willing to do. I was willing to suck at it until I got better and then created this whole thing that ended up just becoming something really incredible. And here we are 9 years later and just doing really big stuff. So
how long is that process of teaching? Like you recruit someone, how long do you are on those calls teaching them how to do it, doing the trainings and stuff until until you let them into the wildness on their own?
So it's really going to depend on the person. I've had people who after 2 days were like, I got it. I'm good. I'm going to do it myself. And I'm like, more power to you, right? So it really depends on the person and how much that person is willing to take a hold of their business themselves, realizing that their success is not dependent on me. I'm just the teacher. Their success is dependent on them, right? And so once they figure that out, that their success is dependent on them, I feel like those people that understand that are a lot faster to want to do it on their own. But I'm going to say, honestly, it's going to depend on what the response is to them putting the fillers out, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're putting fillers out. They're making a post. They're contacting people, that kind of stuff. So people that come in and maybe we've got 20 chats in our first day and we're on phone calls and we're doing all the things, they're hearing it a lot more than the person who maybe just got 3 people in a chat, right? Maybe just got 3 people on a phone call. So I think it's going to depend on the person and honestly how quickly that person wants to do it on their own. To me, the people that I've always seen that have created the fastest growth and made the most money are the people who after 3 or 4 days are like, okay, Ursula, I'm going to try it. I'm going to add you to the chat. I'm going to add you to the phone call, but can I do it on my own? And then tell me what I did wrong or what I did right. Those are the people that you're like, she's got something, right? He's got something because he's willing to do it on his own instead of relying on me as a crutch for 5 months because they aren't willing to learn what they need to learn.
And is the strategy when you recruit someone, you help them with the content, or you tell them what to post, or do they have to do that? That's my question. Is yes, we live in a social media world, but maybe you can meet someone who is like you, like person who was very well connected before, and they can do it without social media. What's your experience with other women? Are they open to like, yeah, I will share this on social media, or what's your experience with that?
So, it probably, I'm going to say 95% of people are very, very open to how I teach them on what to do on social media because they came to me, right? Or they're going to come to you for a reason. They're wanting what you have. And so to me, it's very much here's a simple onboarding system that I've created. I give them this onboarding system. I'm coaching them daily, one-on-one. I'm showing them what to do. I'm telling them what to post, how to post it, how to respond to people, how to start the messages, all of that. And so I feel like when people do take that coaching well, and they do those things that you're asking them to do, they tend to grow a lot faster. Now, if somebody that came in like me, who already had influence, who already had this, you're going to coach them differently because it's not the same as somebody who's never used their social media for any kind of business or anything like that, right? And so I think it really depends on the person as to how you're starting them out. Most people come in without any kind of knowledge on even how to use their social media to do something like this. So it is a very much a teaching moment of here's how we're going to build your friends list. Here's how we're going to build your followers. Here's how we're going to build your engagement. Here's how we're going to build your influence. And it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I didn't luck into what I had built before I started network marketing. It was 15 years of, we're talking at the beginning of social media, the beginning of all the things, and just working at it consistently. And so teaching that to people, how to fast track that and how to build that is really what I try to do.
What I wanted to ask you, what would be your advice, because we are getting to 1 hour of this podcast, and always we like to ask top leaders, if someone is just starting now in network marketing and they have a big struggle, what's your advice for them?
Don't quit. It's that simple. This industry is a hard industry. It's not easy, right? And not everybody's going to make it to the top, but not everybody wants to make it to the top, to be real honest, right? There's people who just want to come in and make $1,000 a month, who want to make $500 a month to pay for their groceries. There's people who want to come in and make millions, right? And there's no right or wrong. But the same mentality is going to apply to those that want to come in and make millions and those that want to come in and make $500 a month. Don't quit. It's that simple. Take those words out of your vocabulary. Don't even allow yourself to think it. Don't allow yourself to say it. Don't allow yourself to do any of it, because what you're going to see is you're going to see that by removing that from your vocabulary, you are going to stick with this no matter what you are doing for all the time that it takes. Some people are going to come in and be very successful very quickly. Some people, it might take 5 years before they really see success. And that's okay, because not everybody's on the same timeline. But once you removed that word from your vocabulary and you understand you're here for the long haul, right? You're here for the long haul. You're not here to get rich quick. That's not what this is. You're here to create an income stream for your family that's going to continue to pay you for years to come. Well, if you're looking for that legacy income is going to come with the dedication to the outcome, right? Look at the outcome that you want to have happen. No matter what happens, make sure your mind is right. Make sure your heart is right. Make sure that you are doing this for the right reasons. And above all else, this is just me, and I hope it's okay that I say this because I'm going to say it anyway. Make sure that every step of the way you're glorifying God in every single thing that you do. Period. End of story. To me, that's the most important thing, is make sure that you are doing this with Him in mind and you're building God's kingdom, not your kingdom. Because those are two very, very different things. That would be my advice.
Amen to that. That's actually a very beautiful message. And you know what I noticed, just to add, for like almost all network marketing leaders that we know are very religious people. There is something connected to that, believing in higher power that allows them to build, because this is hard, and you need to believe in something, and it seems like a pattern. That's very interesting observation, I would say.
I'm just going to say, this is an industry that it will, it can bless you in so many ways, but it can also, like I said, it's hard. And you have to make sure that you're keeping your pride out of this. Make sure you're keeping your ego out of this, because at the end of the day, listen, titles and ranks and money are not the things that get you to heaven. They're not. Right? The things that get you to heaven are doing the things that God calls us to do, building His kingdom instead of our own. That's what I'm interested in. And so I love the fact that on our team, Team Legacy, and at Manitech, we've created this incredible team of just people who really have the same morals, who have the same values. And we understand, for us, I didn't even get to share this, but for us, really what drew me to this company was the fact that every product that is sold actually provides a meal to a child in need across the world. What better way to serve the world and to serve God than feed the most helpless, which is malnourished children across the world, right? What greater good could you do besides that? So to me, it's all about making sure your mind's right, your heart's right, you're doing this for the right reasons, and every step of the way you keep God right in the center of it.
Amazing. It's really amazing, and I like that you find yourself in that kind of environment where it really aligns with your values. My last question for today is being so successful, buying the ranch. You mentioned that just prior to recording, that you basically bought the ranch by being so successful in network marketing. What's the next for you? Like, what are the goals that you set for yourself for that 1 year or 5 years in the future?
So, you know what? Yes. So we, my husband and I grew up on a ranch in New Mexico. My husband grew up on a ranch in Oklahoma. We moved to Texas, and he worked for a ranch. We lived in a ranch house that was owned by the ranch. All of those things. If you live this lifestyle, you'll know what I'm talking about. But every cowboy family's dream is always to own their own ranch and own their own cattle. And because of network marketing in this industry, that's what we've been able to do. We've been able to buy our own ranch, build our dream home. We run cattle of our own, like all of these things. And so to us, what would be the next step of that? Just keep buying more cows. That's the dream. That is the dream. Just keep buying more cows.
That's the perfect way to end this podcast. Ursula, thank you so much for being a guest. We hope to see you again because you have a lot to share.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving me this time today. It's been an honor to sit here with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.